later, but now we want one more flight, like as we discussed in the last class that we have
Delta.
American flights, United flights, and these two all are REST flights. So we will add one SOAP call, right? So again, for SOAP, MuleSoft has provided that URL for us where we can use that URL. Yeah. So this is the URL which they have provided. We query this. It's again HTTP learn MuleSoft, and this is the WSDL. So this is SOAP URL.
Yeah.
So if you do a GET request, you will get the output, but the output will look like something like this.
It's all XML.
Yeah, it's XML. So if you want to observe, you can observe few things. There is an operation. So SOAP generally comes with operation. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is two operation: find flight and list
And
flight.
list all flight. Yeah.
List all flights. So there are two operations. So now we want to add this in our project, similar to how we did for United, but only difference is it's a SOAP call. So what will the first step to add this project? You have to tell me, like, first what we should do. We should get a listener, or how
Listener.
we should
Yeah.
do that. Correct. So we'll go to the listener and we'll get a listener because we want to listen to that path.
Yeah.
And we will give, like we had given here, United, as it's a Delta flight. Just give a path as a Delta. And let's change the name also. Get all Delta flights. Okay, so listener path is, let me change the name of implementation.
But on the listener configuration, we still have HTTP listener config.
Yes. So what do you think will be in there? If you open this, it has host as this one and port as this one. So
Yeah.
listener configuration is okay because all the listener are using the same configuration, right? We don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that listener. Maybe you're getting confused with the request configuration. This was different.
Yeah, that was different because that is using a different.
Yeah. So listener is using it's common and we can use it across all the flows because we are not configuring anything flight specific. Okay, we are
Yeah.
configuring flight specific on request configuration. Here, the training.host training.port.
Yeah.
So it's a request configuration. Okay, so listener configurations, we are good with listener configuration. Now what we have to do is we have to add a module to our project, which will be
Yeah.
a WSDL module.
So
Okay.
that is
for
SOAP, right?
yeah, let me
WSDL.
SOAP consumer. It will be WSDL module. Let me just add modules. Web service consumer. So this is the name.
Oh, okay. Web service consumer.
Yeah, we will add this here, and as soon as we add, this will get added in our projects file, the dependency and jar, everything.
Yeah.
So this is a consumer. It's similar to the listener. Okay, if we hit here, it will listen and it will send us the output. Okay. So this is a consumer operation. We have to pull it here and give the configuration. So now after this, we have to define a global connector. So as a best practice, we will go to the global connection, and similar to this, we will add the global connection for it.
Okay.
So if you go to create, there are few options: global configuration, caching, connector configuration. So this will come under which one?
Connector configuration, right?
Yeah. As it is a connector, so it will come under connector configuration. And we have all these connectors, and we have to use our
Website.
web service configuration. Now we have to provide all those details, that visitor location, service, and port. So we have all these details, that what is the visitor location. This is the visitor location, but as best practice again, what we have to do is we have to define all this
Put it
in
in YAML. Yeah.
config.yaml. So we have for training for American, we will create the same for Delta. So I can copy this, paste it. This looks okay. Now I have to go to global. So again, I have to create connector, web service consumer. Okay, so visitor location will be $.
Delta dot.
Delta dot visitor. Let me check, just check the key. I think it's the same key. Let me just have to use the curly braces. And again, $. Service.
So what is this service?
I'll show you. So in this service, we have ticket service. So SOAP is not like a listener. Okay, it has many services. So this is defined. This can be defined for ticket service. If we are giving the service as ticket service, so it will provide you the functionality for ticket services. Okay, maybe that
But
visual
on the
is defined.
WSDL file, we have a different service name, right? List all flight.
Yeah, that is operation. That
Okay.
will come under operation. That under this service, what you have to do. So it's a main object, and under that we have all operations. Okay.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of resource.
Yeah, you can say it like that. I think it's, we can refer to this. Let me just go back. Let me just finish this, and we can just refer with the requester.
We need to close with closing brace.
I missed that. Just SOAP 11 only. I'll use the default one. Okay. So if you go to the request configuration, in request we have host this one, and that was the base path, right? Which we use if we go implementation and get flights. So here using the base path, that like United flight destination.
Yeah.
So it's similar kind of that. Ticket service is similar kind of that. Like till Delta Vestal it will go, then service it will use the ticket service after this. Just for understanding purpose.
Can you go to the WSDL file? I just want to see where the ticket service starts.
This one, this is the name ticket service.
Okay.
First one.
Namespace. Okay.
And under that you will have the operations.
Okay. List all flights and.
So this is configured. Anything else we are left with? Yeah. So we have configured the web service consumer configuration. This is complete. Now in our WSDL, it will ask for operation, that which operation you want to use. So we will, if you have successfully given the configuration, we will get the drop down. And if you're not getting, then we have to refresh it, and then we have to check our configuration if there's an issue with the configuration. So it will, then it will sense. So I'm not getting it till now. So we have to check that why we're not getting. So let's go to the consumer. Maybe we have done some mistake with this consumer operation. This looks, yeah, something wrong with this. Or delta.pistol, delta.service, delta.port. Delta.pistol, delta.services. Let me copy paste. Maybe there's a space issue or something. Yeah, I think there's a space issue here. Still not getting this one. So let me check what we are missing. Okay. So why we are not getting this? Because even if we have saved the global XML, right? This one, but I'm assuming that we did not save this one. We have pasted it, but we did not save this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was the issue. Let me just save it. I'm just Control S. Let me just go back again. It should work now. Yeah. So this was the issue. So these are small things which we forget, but if we are doing any changes, until and unless it is saved in config.yaml, the global file will not be able to read it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we use list all flights first. So there are two operations attached with this system. We will use the list all flights, and body we will pass the payload whatever we are receiving. So no changes on that. So we are done with this one, and now it should provide us all the flights whatever we require. Okay. So what else we need to check? Yeah. So as this data sense, it's sometimes useful that if you want to check what is the output of this whistle, because everything is we have given, right? So it should automatically read. So it's saying the payload will be an object, and it will have a body, and it will have list file response, and again it will return this part. So the output will look like this. So this is the metadata. So normally in any project we don't define this metadata, because what we do is we will just drag a transform message and define the output as we want after running it once. But this is also a way, like you can see, but not everyone is making use of it, because in real life there will be many columns more than this. So it doesn't come handy, this data sense feature. Okay. So it has input and output both side. So input what is there and output what it will receive. So both is there. So we will make use of this in the next walkthrough. So just wanted to show you this. Okay. So now we will save this and we will run it. So we have now 3 flights: American, United, and Delta. So we are slowly inching towards our end goal, where we want a single interface and where we will provide our destination, and it should give the flights from all the flights. Or if you want to just give that, okay, I want flight only from Delta flights, so it should be able to give you flights only from Delta flights. So this will be our end goal.
You know, we saw that the website, right? The Make My Trip website.
Yeah.
When I said the destination and give the date,
yeah,
it pulled all the flights available for the destination and for that date.
correct.
Right. So here we have built one flow for each airlines, right?
Yes.
So when I just give the destination, and if I want to pull from all these airlines, so I just have to use the flow reference once each flow is finished, and then call the next flow. How that works?
Yeah. So right now we are seeing that individually we have to hit, right?
Yeah.
And we want to achieve like what you are saying, that I should give a date, a destination and date, and it should pull all the flights, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's finish this and then I will discuss this, the other part, because
Okay.
it's a important topic and this is important too. So if you mix it, so it can get confusing. So let's
Okay.
finish this and we will address that one today only.
Okay.
So we have finished this consume operation, we have deployed, and now we will make a call to Delta. So just use this Delta still, or we have this, right? We can copy this one and we'll just create for Delta Airlines. So just need to give Delta. Okay. So now we are getting this response, right? It is in
Yeah.
XML format, right? Because it's in a SOAP, so it will
Oh,
send to
yes,
us
yes.
in XML. So we are actually receiving the empty seats and all these things, but it doesn't make sense to our eyes that what exactly
Yeah.
it is.
It's not in the readable format.
Yeah. So to do that changes, that it should be visible and understand, we will use a transform message for that, right? Because it's an XML format and
Yeah.
you want to see our data in JSON because we are using JSON transformer, right?
Yeah.
So previously in Mule 3, like after Mule 4, things are like very, very easy. If someone
Mm.
has worked with Mule 3, then he will tell you like how difficult life was with Mule 3. Okay. So for transforming, they had different components. Okay. If you want to
Okay.
component transform from SOAP to XML, you will use a different component and you have to make few
Oh,
changes to that. But in Mule 4, the update was that you can use transform message and just directly give whatever you want, like JSON, and just have to
okay.
provide the
Okay.
payload. If you want other formats, you can provide it here and give the appropriate body like that.
Mm.
So it's that simple. Previously, it was a little difficult than this. This was a major update of Mule
Okay.
4.
Okay.
So this can be asked in some where that what was the difference if you have out in Mule 3 to Mule 4. So
Mm.
this was one of the answer. And in Mule 3, we used other, like now we are using attributes, right? Attributes, under attributes, we have query parameters, URI parameters, we have variable
Yeah.
and we have payload. So these three things you have to always remember. Like these are the basic components of MuleSoft. Without this, you
Yeah.
will not be able to work, right? Because MuleSoft is just passing the messages, right? And you have to have the understanding of what messages are there. So it will be attributes, variables, and payload. But before Mule 4, we had input parameters different, message was different. So it was a bit
Oh, okay.
confusing. Now things are very like sorted way.
Oh, the whole mule message was having a different format.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
totally different format and it was confusing. So they have changed it. So from Mule 3 to Mule 4, it was a big upgrade.
Oh, okay.
Just to rename this. So it looks that what we are doing. So it's, again, it's a best practice to rename it, the transformation which you are doing or anything, any component. So people don't have to go under this and just check. So they will understand, okay, so this is changing SOAP to JSON. Okay.
Okay.
And I just have changed JSON and payload. So I'll deploy it again.
So whatever the attribute was there in XML, it will be displayed as a JSON file
Yes, yes,
now.
yes. And previously we had to do a few more things to change it to JSON and get the output, but now it's very simple.
Okay. Okay.
So if you are planning to give the certification, so what we will do is,
Mm.
like I was covering, right, few quiz questions in after the modules, right? So I will combine all those quiz questions, around 50 to 60 questions, and then we can take one session where we will be discussing about the quiz questions, right? Like the way we discussed.
Yeah.
If you're planning, then we can do that activity too after the course. Okay, so this is SOAP to JSON. Now we got it is deployed. Now we will hit the same localhost 8081 delta, and hopefully this time we'll get the UI, the answer in this way. So now if you see, we are only getting one flight. So I think it's an issue with this REST R client. It doesn't provide you SOAP in a single way. So there is one more option, that raw, that whatever raw data which we are getting, it will provide. So it's just a view they have created. They are just filtering it in some way. So
Okay.
if you go to raw, you'll see all the flights. So there is a body, headers, attachments. Under body, you have an object list all flight response, and under that you have all this: return one, return this, delta, all the flights, LAX, CLE. You're seeing CLE, CLE, SFO. All these flights are getting returned. Even PDX we have. Okay, so within 20 minutes we were able to, I think it took like 20 minutes for us to just develop a flow which will give us the flight one, Delta Airlines.